Good morning everyone, this is Sage, live from the 𝐊𝐴𝐼𝐼 studios in Sydney, and you are watching The Early Trades, a show where we share with you a glimpse at the Australian share market opening trade scenario, along with the global and domestic drivers pushing the market momentum. So let's get started. Well, the Australian share market opened lower and the US stocks tumbled due to the global surge in coronavirus cases, pushing away investors from the risky assets. And the overnight trade also saw concerns around the rising Delta variant infections negatively impacting the bond yields and oil prices. And besides, the global investors are also concerned about inflation. It was the largest one-day percentage fall for the S&P and the Nasdaq composite since mid-May, and the Dow Jones crashed 2.1%. The S&P 500 dropped 1.6% and the Nasdaq fell 1.1%. In the currency space, the US dollar climbed to a more than 3-month peak against a basket of major currencies. And moreover, as the fears increasing over the rising coronavirus cases across the world, the US Treasury bond yields fell to 5-month lows on Monday. And closer to home, Victoria reported 13 locally acquired COVID-19 cases on Tuesday. It is the same number as a day earlier, and the state's near 7 million residents waiting to see how long a hard lockdown is going to be required to contain the latest outbreak. The Victorian authorities said on Monday a 5-day snap lockdown that is imposed to slow the spread of the highly infectious Delta variant would be extended beyond Tuesday, and the authorities also said that more details would be provided later in the day. Well, while looking at the Australian market open trades, the bottom performing stocks in this index were real estate player unibail-rodamco-westfield and banking and financial brand Virgin Money. And besides, engineering company Worley, oil and gas explorer Beach Energy and software player Altium have also slipped. And meanwhile, Oil Search soared on receiving a merger proposal from Santos, while electronics retailer JB Hi-Fi soared on profit uptick in financial year 2021. And besides that, Ansell, 𝐧𝐞 and Super Retail Group also advanced. Moving on now, let's glance through the ASX sectoral charter. The Australian technology shares traded lower during the early trades after taking cues from the weaker actions of Nasdaq overnight. Investors remained cautious of inflation expectations. Nuix, Altium and Nearmap all slipped, and while 𝐧𝐞 grabbed the top position amid the ASX 200 gainers, BNPL juggernaut Afterpay soared on Afterpay Money product launch update. Well, Afterpay will launch its Afterpay Money product in conjunction with Westpac by October. In Australia, the app will offer a digital wallet and physical card for customers to deposit salaries and view their cash balance online. Product features will include a competitive 1% annual interest rate on cash savings for the business built on interest-free lending. And the Australian energy player Beach Energy and Origin Energy traded in the red zone amid the oil price downtick, although Oil Search soared on receiving a merger proposal from Santos. And oil slumped $5 a barrel on Monday, closing out its worst day since March. An OPEC Plus agreement to boost output has triggered the fears of a surplus, just as rising COVID-19 infections once again threaten demand. And the Brent crude lost 6.8%. US oil futures for August delivery is down 7.5%, and overall the oil price scenario is sending mixed signals about the production-consumption balance in the coming months. Particularly, analysts are keeping a close watch on how soon the global oil demand will catch up to gradually touch pre-pandemic levels with a more sustainable control over the virus havoc. And meanwhile, Santos has confirmed it submitted a confidential, non-binding indicative oil scrip merger proposal to the Oil Search Board in late June. And the merger proposal would be implemented through a scheme of arrangement with the all scrip merger proposal. And under the arrangement, Oil Search shareholders would receive 0.589 new Santos shares for each Oil Search share held. And Oil Search shareholders would own 37% of the merged group, and Santos shareholders would own 63%. Now let's move on to the miners space, where heavyweight miners Rio Tinto and Fortescue Metals traded higher amid an uptick in the iron ore prices, and BHP Group dipped despite posting annual iron ore output near the top end of the forecast. And the BHP notched a record output at its Jimblebar Mine and Mining Area C in the Pilbara region in Western Australia at a time of soaring iron ore prices, propelled by the robust Chinese demand and supply issues in Brazil. However, the world's largest listed miner posted a 4% decline in the fourth quarter output compared with last year. And on that note, analysts expect the high commodity prices to help BHP post bumper full-year profits in August alongside rivals Rio Tinto and Fortescue. Now in the yellow metal space, Newcrest Mining, Evolution Mining, Ramelius and Gold Road edged lower as the gold price softened. And gold traded on a weak note on Monday. A tug of war between a strong greenback and a fall in Treasury yields seems to be happening. And now it's time for a short break, but please stay tuned as I'll be back with more of the updates for the Australian share market.
Hi, this is Andy Liu broadcasting from 𝐊𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞 Media Studio in Australia, and I'll be hosting the new 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐚 Wellness Show. The half-hour show will cover topics from how wellness as a concept has become even more significant during COVID, to how becoming vegan may improve your health, and much more. We are excited to showcase our live streaming show to our audience of millions overseas and in Australia. Tune in to 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐚 TV and join me.
Welcome back, viewers. Hope you're enjoying your morning. This is Sage, your host, live from 𝐊𝐴𝐚 Sydney studio, and you're watching the Early Trades show. Let's move on now, taking a look at the prominent ASX stocks under the spotlight during the early trades. And to begin with, the Australian and New Zealand banking group slid post announcing a $1.5 billion buyback. ANZ has revealed it is undaunted by the latest coronavirus outbreak and believes it can look after both shareholders and customers after unveiling plans to embark on a $1.5 billion buyback early on Monday evening. And the shares of private hospital operator Ramsay Health Care dipped post-Spire acquisition rejection. Its proposed $3.9 billion bid for UK-based Spire Healthcare has been rejected by Spire's shareholders, and according to the company, they have a significant pipeline of brownfield and greenfield projects in Australia. The company will continue to investigate adjacencies in all its markets to create an integrated, patient-centric business platform. Now looking at retailer JB Hi-Fi, who have soared on profit uptick in the financial year 21, and JB Hi-Fi says it's experienced heightened customer demand and strong sales momentum in the fourth quarter of the year, with strong sales growth in its online business. The company also announced its preliminary 2021 financial year results, with profits and earnings soaring. And meanwhile, Plumbing Parts Group Reliance Worldwide rose on a $37 million acquisition of copper-based alloy producer LCL Limited. And while LCL's activities are centred around recycling copper material and the manufacture of lead-free brass for use in the delivery of portable water. With this acquisition, Reliance will secure a favourable long-term cost position for its brass rod requirements in Australia, according to the company. And the next big newsmaker on the list is Platforms business Hub24, rose on posting June quarter inflows of $3.9 billion. And meanwhile, the total inflows for the financial year 2021 reached $8.9 billion, and platform funds under administration stood at $41.4 billion as at the financial year's end, up 16%, including market appreciation. We will be covering more ASX stocks under the spotlight in the upcoming shows today. And now, as we wrap up the show, I'd like to share a glimpse at this week's action-packed Australian economic calendar. The major Australian economic data releases this week include minutes from July's RBA policy meeting at 11:30 a.m. today. Look out for that. June retail sales on Wednesday, and trade and quarterly business confidence data soon to come on Thursday. And thanks for joining us on that report. Hopefully it's been informative for you. That's all for now. We will be bringing more trending updates in our upcoming live shows during the day, so please stay tuned to 𝐊𝐴𝐚 TV for more of the updates across the economy, markets and sectors. Sage signing off for now.